Closer to home, the candidates in Maryland's most competitive congressional seat made their closing arguments. Neil Parrott and April McClain Delaney. Our Lionel Donovan catches us up on the race for Maryland's 6th district.
Lines are still out the door here at Activities Center on Bower Park as voters try to get their ballots in early. Meanwhile, Democratic and Republican supporters have been out here all day as well, making their final cases for their parties. But today I got to hear from two candidates about why they think they should represent Maryland's 6th district. Maryland's 6th district has become a flashpoint in the national battle between Democrats and Republicans. The prize? Potential control of Congress.
Thank you all for coming out. I appreciate it.
Neil Parrott spent the morning speaking to constituents in Frederick, hoping to maintain his momentum.
This is my third time running, and I tell you, things are really different this time. Things look very, very encouraging. Our numbers are very, very strong.
Meanwhile, April McClain Delaney spoke in Gaithersburg about what she's seen on her trips through the 6th district.
I went through all the polling locations, all 5 counties, and ended at 7:50 last night in Oakland, Maryland. And you saw a world of hurt, but you also saw a lot of opportunity, and that there's so much that can be done when we do it together.
Both candidates were also flanked by congressional and state leaders who stressed how the impact of this election will be felt beyond the 6th district.
But it's also making sure that not just the district, but the state is going to have a remarkable voice and a remarkable fighter.
But we're going to need allies in Congress if we're going to turn this country around. We have the ability to do that, and we're ready to go.
Both candidates also touched on one of the top issues of this election: abortion and reproductive health care. Although Parrott once co-sponsored legislation that would have blocked abortion access when he was a delegate, he says as a potential representative, it's not a priority.
I think it's a state issue. So as a state delegate, it was a state issue. I'm going to Congress. It's not an issue that's going to be dealt with at the congressional level. So I'm not even thinking about that.
Delaney disagrees and points out how if she lived in her home state of Idaho, this approach would have prevented her from getting a life-saving procedure while she was pregnant.
It's not just life, it's actually a control economically, politically, and socially over a woman and what they can do. And I don't think that should be dependent upon geography and states. And maybe as a lawyer, I just think that this is a constitutional right that we all need to have and uphold.
Now, today is the last day of early voting in Maryland. The state's Board of Elections says that as of yesterday, more than 800,000 voters have already shown up to the polls, and the state has received and accepted more than 300,000 additional mail-in ballots. But despite these large numbers, that's still less than half of Maryland's overall turnout when compared to 2020. From Gaithersburg, Lionel Donovan, WUSA 9.
Both candidates came here to our WUSA 9 studios for interviews, and you can watch those right now on WUSA 9 Plus. Just download it wherever you stream.